Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the iconic pink and purple makeover that I got on America's Next Top Model. So many of you are obsessed with that purple and pink hair. I'm always getting DMs asking why I don't go back to pink and purple and why I dyed my hair back to blonde. So today we are going to address those things and discuss that legendary purple hair makeover. I decided to throw on a purple sweater for the theme of the video. All right, so let's go all the way back to filming when I originally got my purple hair makeover. So how it went was they handed out these little slips of paper to all of us that had our makeovers on them, and they were like, okay, 1, 2, 3, read them. And mine said something like lavender pixie fairy dust. And I was like, what does that even mean? When I read it, I still had no idea what I was getting. I was like, lavender, okay, so maybe it's purple, but then I saw like pixie dust and I'm like, is that short? I had no idea what was going on by reading that piece of paper. So anyways, I get in the chair and they tell me that it's going to be turned like this fun pink and purple fairy dust color. And I was like, okay, like I've never really had my hair dyed before. I think I had gotten highlights maybe once or twice, but this was the first like real dye job I had ever gotten. And they had to start with bleaching my hair, which took a really long time. They had to do it twice. I actually kind of fell in love with that moment when it was bleach blonde. I was like, oh, I kind of dig this ice blonde moment here. But of course they continued on and eventually put color into my hair as well. So I actually mentioned this on the show very briefly, but my makeover was one of the longest ones. It took like 6 or 7 hours, I think. And it's so funny on the show how they make it look so fast. They're like, everyone sits down, they get their makeovers, and then we go do the photo shoot. Like, that was a whole day of getting my hair done. So anyways, once I get my pink and purple hair, I actually really love it. And they also gave me this hair piece. It's a halo, so it has a string right there and then, you know, hair in the back, so it makes your hair look fuller and thicker. And that hairpiece is so funny. I've mentioned this in other videos, but I got in so much trouble for that hairpiece because I would forget to wear it at panel or I would not bring it to photo shoots, and they got so mad at me because it was technically like part of my makeover and they didn't even show that on TV, but I got criticized so much for not bringing that stupid hairpiece. So once the makeover was over, I really loved it actually. I was like, okay, this is cool. It didn't really feel like myself because it was so like light pink and purple. I feel like if it was darker, that maybe would have been more my personality because it's like more rocker. But I was like, okay, whatever, we can work with this. I never really understand on the show how people can like be emotional or sad for their makeover because, girl, you signed up for America's Next Top Model. Like, you know that the makeover episode is such a big part of the show. And like, I was mentally prepared for them to frickin' shave off my hair and dye it blue. I don't know, but you have to be prepared for them to do the craziest things and just like be ready to be okay with it. You don't sign up for that show assuming that you're gonna keep your hair. Like, that just won't happen. And I think that's why I had such a good attitude about my hair, is because I was like, yeah, I signed up for this. I don't really care what it's gonna be. Like, I'll work it either way. And that's just a mentality that you have to go into makeovers with, or else you're gonna end up crying and sad like a lot of the girls are on the show. So during the show, my hair was definitely my signature, which was so weird for me because being like a blonde with pretty, sorry, but like basic hair, pretty uninteresting. It's like thin and flat. My hair had never really been like the highlight of my look. People always compliment my eyes or they compliment my smile or whatever it is, but it's never a compliment to my hair. My hair is just like whatever. I usually call it like dirty dishwater blonde before I have started dyeing it lighter blonde. But my hair was just always so boring and basic. So having my hair be like the centerpiece of my look was a new thing for me for sure. And one thing during the show that I had never had to deal with in my like life before the show was matching my outfits to my hair. So I learned that there were certain colors that I really couldn't wear because it would look too colorful. So I couldn't really like wear pink because then I have pink and purple hair and it was just like a lot of color. So I learned what I could and couldn't wear. And also before the show, I had zero knowledge of makeup. I did not know how to do my makeup, but I knew that I liked the look of just like mascara and red lipstick. I thought it looked really good with my blonde hair and it's easy to do and it looks like you kind of know what you're doing. But I learned very quickly that red lipstick does not go with pink and purple hair. It clashes a lot. So I had to kind of work with a more pink palette palette when it came to lipstick or neutrals. So it was definitely like a learning process, but I learned quickly and figured out what outfits looked good with my hair and what makeup I could do with my hair. I think that's kind of why I oftentimes on the show had really cool outfits, because they had to select the outfit that would look good with my hair. And so I ended up getting outfits that were more like catered to me, and I think that's why a lot of times I think I had the best outfits on photo shoots. I also got really close with the stylist, so maybe that had something to do with it. Who knows? Okay, so during the show, I have mentioned this before, but I had to get my hair dyed like every 10 days, I think, and the show was 6 weeks long, so I don't know, do the math, but I had to get my hair dyed a lot. And it was kind of my sanity during the show, because I got to get away from the house and go with one of the PAs, production assistants, to get my hair dyed pretty frequently. And once or twice we went out for pizza for dinner when we really were not supposed to do that, but it was such a nice break from the show and the drama and the craziness, and I got to be unmiked, and oh, those hair appointments were my saving grace. And I still didn't have my phone, so it was kind of like a special moment to just relax, and I sat in the chair and just like read a magazine or talked to the hairstylist, and those moments were just like literally the reason why I was able to keep my sanity, I think. All right, so let's get into the post-show hair drama. All right, so after the show, it's obviously a while from when you filmed it to when it actually airs. And of course, they don't want people to know what your makeover is. So guess what? After the show, I have my purple hair, and I had to go pay a lot of money to get it turned back to blonde so that people wouldn't know what my makeover was. But then for the finale, they wanted my hair to be back to purple for that Facebook Live thing, so I had to re-dye it back to purple, and then after that I had to dye it back to blonde to get back to my regular modeling career. So oh my gosh, my poor hair went through a lot of chemicals and poison during the course of that show. From being dyed constantly to then being dyed blonde, then purple, then blonde, then purple, then blonde. So it was just a lot on my hair. And that's why when I turned it back to blonde the final time, I also chopped it to here, which I learned was not a very flattering cut on me. But anyways, I chopped it all off so that it could grow back healthier and I could just like quit touching it for a while. So people always ask me why I didn't keep my makeover after the show, why I even bothered dyeing it back to blonde. And there are a couple of reasons. I'll start with this one. So purple hair, like I said, is very hard to maintain, especially that pastel color. You can have a darker purple and it would last a lot longer. You probably know this if you've ever had your hair dyed, but those pastel colors are so hard to maintain because you have to have that bleached hair underneath, and then you have to maintain that light color that fades really easily. So it is a ton of maintenance, and in other words, it's very expensive to keep up. So that was one reason. I was like, I cannot afford to have purple hair right now. So take finances out of the question. And another reason that I didn't keep my purple hair was because in the modeling industry, I am trying to book as many jobs as possible as a model, and purple hair just isn't quite as marketable. I think for commercials, having purple hair can play to your advantage, and I also think that if you're kind of a socialite or celebrity, having colored hair can really benefit you. But if I'm just trying to be a model and book as many jobs as possible, having a natural color hair like blonde or brown or red or whatever is gonna be much better. Basically, there are a lot more castings for blonde girls than there are for purple haired girls. Of course, it's really special when you do get those castings for purple hair because you're gonna be in a lot smaller group of people going for that job. Whereas a casting call for brunettes, there's gonna be tons of people, you know? So there are benefits to both, but I wanted to be able to say yes to as many jobs as possible and just work as a model. And I thought that having my natural blonde hair would be best. I also just feel like blonde suits me. And like I said, during the show, I was impartial to my makeover. Like I was prepared for anything, so I didn't care. But I'm sure you guys can agree that in your regular life, having hair that you are comfortable with really can help with your confidence. And I just feel like I'm a blonde. I don't feel like I'm a platinum blonde. I don't feel like I'm a brunette. I don't feel like I'm a redhead. I don't feel like I'm a purple haired girl. Like I feel that my personality is kind of this like golden, dirty blonde. I just feel like it suits my personality and it's what I've had my whole life, so I just feel like it's me. So the reasons that I went back to blonde are because purple is too expensive and hard to maintain. Blonde suits my personality, and I wanted to be able to work as much as possible as a model. And like I said earlier, I didn't really want my hair to be this defining factor about me. Like, I wanted people to like my personality or like my eyes or like what I was wearing. I don't know. I didn't want my hair to be like the focal point of me, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm a blonde, I'm a working model as a blonde, and I think I'm gonna stay this way just because I feel like this is my hair, this is who I am. But I do think I wanna buy like a purple wig to maybe throw on for YouTube videos or, you know, TikToks, things like that, because it was definitely an iconic look, and I do miss it sometimes, if I'm being honest. It was definitely fun hair to have, and if I could maintain it, maybe I would consider it one day, but I don't know. Blonde is just me, so for now, I'm staying as a blonde. I do think that it was a good makeover for me on the show though, and it definitely made me stand out. I wasn't just another blonde white girl on the show. I had something very unique about myself that the photographers noticed and were excited to capture. Like, you guys probably remember the nude shoot on the makeover episode. Ellen kept my hair purple when the rest of the photo was black and white. So it definitely made me stand out, and I think it totally played to my advantage and is probably one of the reasons I ended up winning the show. So I am very grateful for my makeover. I loved it for the show, but for my regular life, it's gonna be blonde. Sorry guys. So if you've made it to the end of this video, thanks for watching. You should definitely leave in the comments your thoughts on my makeover. Do you want me to go back to purple? Do you think I look better as a blonde? Let me know. And thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. And I will see you next time for another video.